Today's agenda is to cover a little bit of basics of what is a prompt, what are they, what makes a good prompt, and I just have some basic steps for that, so I hope it'll be easy for understanding. We'll try using my actual prompts as we go through there, through different things. We'll talk a little bit about text and images because you can use them as prompts, and then we'll do a lot of demonstrations. And I'll probably focus a little bit on Gemini and ChatGPT, but I'm also going to see if we can do something in Microsoft 365 that I've been doing a little bit of that's kind of a different type of tool with AI, and maybe have a little surprise for you on something you may not have thought you could actually do. So AI prompts are the input you give to the AI system, what they call the model, the knowledge base, the chat, tool, whatever. And the prompt guides the AI in generating its response. And it had been popularly called prompt engineering, but it's increasingly being called prompt crafting more and more now. And so crafting prompts and fine tuning them is really the terminology that Google used at Google I/O, and I've seen it used in a couple of other locations as well. So effective prompts are really important because they will give you a lot that you can take care of to be able to make something work effectively. Prompt design is how you craft the inputs and you're guiding the AI towards the best possible result. The better your input and the better the instructions you give to the AI, the better the AI's output will be in terms of giving you what you want. Now, you can go back and forth and iterate with an AI, and some AIs will ask you for suggestions that will help guide it a little bit. But you really are responsible for making all of these decisions yourself. You're giving an intelligent system instructions. How well you give instructions to people is really going to be a factor of how well you can craft prompts. So people with some management or supervisory experience actually have a little bit of an edge when it comes to understanding how to give effective prompts if they have good management skills and help give people directions. But you can also experiment with prompts that can enhance the AI's capabilities in terms of giving you what you want it to do. And some AIs have memory. They will start to remember the types of things you ask and the way you ask and the way you want responses, and they'll keep track of that as they generate responses for you. You don't always have to put the full set of instructions in prompts. So here's the other thing. Prompts can include text, of course. They can include documents. You can upload a document and ask AI to summarize something. You can upload images and use that as an input. You can talk to your AI with a voice input. You can give it suggestions for websites. You can ask it to search, and you can upload or link to videos. Each AI is a little bit different in terms of its capabilities. And so, for example, with YouTube videos, Google's Gemini has more capabilities than some of the other AIs because Google gives their Gemini access to the transcripts very quickly on the videos, whereas other tools may not do that. You might have to find a way to get a video transcribed. But you can input a lot of these different things into your AI, and that can be part of your prompt. So you're not just limited to typing. I'll show you how we can use an image, and I'll show you how we can control whether we want it to go to websites or not, or do search. So one of the first things you want your AI to have is called a persona. And that's the type of person, the type of characteristics you want it to have. And it really is best described as who should the AI pretend to be. If you don't say anything, it's going to just assume some general things. It's like a contractor that you tell, build a 3-bedroom house for me. you don't know what it's going to look like when you're done if you don't give them anything specific. But you want to give them some more specific directions and ask them, hey, I want you to be a contractor who is used to doing economical but high quality work, and type of thing. So you can ask it, as an example, act as a friendly travel guide. So we're going to come up with a persona, and we're going to ask our AI to act as a friendly travel guide. This sets the tone and the viewpoint of the response. So I could ask the AI to be a historical travel guide, or I could ask the AI to be a very active athletic travel guide for active vacations or something like that. So how you want the AI to be and what the persona is important in terms of crafting a very complete prompt. That's part one. There's 4 parts to a prompt that we're going to work on. The next thing is the task. And most people typically just start with the task. And that's, what do you want the AI to do? And a common request might be, suggest a 5-day itinerary for Madrid. Okay, so we've asked it to do something. So you could ask it, tell me about lawnmowers, give me an idea for a low carbohydrate diet, whatever. So that's what you want it to do for you. And it's going to be giving it the action that it should take. What is it you want it to do? The persona is what kind of a person do you want it to be when it starts to take the action? Just like you would go to different people for different advice or suggestions, like if you went to a librarian that specialized in nonfiction books, and you say, what do you recommend for something for summer reading? They would give you a different suggestion than a librarian whose focus was on fiction or children's literature or something else. So that persona can flavor a lot about the type of how the task is performed. That's number 2. The third thing is called context. What is the situation or the environment or the goal you're trying to accomplish for this? And how can you help the AI frame it a little bit better? What background information does the AI need? If you can give it a little bit of background information, what's it for? Is it for a class? Is it for your own personal use? Is it for helping a friend out? Is it for giving people advice? Is it for an exercise you're trying to do to prepare a presentation? What is it for? And an example in this case might be traveling with 2 seniors who enjoy art and walking tours. So that gives it some context. So you can see the persona, act as a friendly travel guide, suggest a 5-day itinerary for Madrid. I'm traveling with 2 seniors who enjoy art and walking tours, is starting to give it a little better understanding of what you would really like it to do for you. And this adds enough detail so the response is more personalized and probably more valuable to what you want it to accomplish. So that's persona, that's task, and this is context. And the last one is the format. How do you want the response to be formatted? It could be as bullet points, it could be as a document, it could be an article, it could be a fiction, piece of fiction you want. And in this case, we're going to say, let's see each day's activities in bullet points. You could say, give me an hour by hour breakdown, but this we're going to say, list each day's activities as bullet points, activity by activity. But we could say list it by hour, in terms of what and how long each activity is going to be. And that gives the response and makes it easier to follow or to present if you're using it and going to be posting it into another format or a document. So persona, task, context, and format are all aspects of a prompt. Now, in addition to text prompts and other things, there's something called multimodal that you can do. And multimodal means that you can supply different types of information in your prompt. In addition to text, you can import images, you can import video or links to videos, you can talk to your AI and have a discussion with it, or you can upload documents and have it look and scan and analyze documents. And I've had that do it for summarizing documents, or you just literally drag and drop these into your AI chat prompt area like that. So we're going to look at using the same prompt and see how a few different AIs respond. I'll show you how you build up the prompt, and we'll start with task, because that tells the AI what we want to do. But then we'll start to refine it with these persona and context and format and see what types of results we get from it. And we'll take a look at a few AIs and see how they do. So I'm going to change my sharing here and go to sharing my web browser here, because I've got a few of these AIs opened up. And this is Google Gemini. It's a great one to start with. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to give it a task. We're going to ask it to suggest a 5-day itinerary for Madrid. And it'll come up with a response for us. And it'll say, here's a suggested 5-day itinerary for Madrid, designed, it kind of made an assumption here. It's designed to give you a blend of its history, art, culture, and vibrant atmosphere. Day 1, Royal Madrid and historic core, suggestion for lunch, afternoon, evening. Day 2, art and green spaces, kind of a different theme. Day 3, modern art, shopping, and sunsets. Okay, so it gives us, it made some assumptions about what it was going to do and why it gave them to us and what these things are looking. And it gives us some extra tips here: walking shoes, meal times, booking in advance, enjoying the nightlife. Not bad, okay? And we can always share and export this to, or copy and paste it into something else that we might want to use it for. So now let's go to a new chat. And I'm going to take the two formats. I'm going to take the persona now, and I'm going to ask it to act as a friendly travel guide, suggest a 5-day. It was pretty friendly already. It's not going to be rude to you, but this will give it a little bit of a twist to it. It's hola, future traveler. Madrid is a fantastic city, a little more dynamic, a little more personable. Puts these tips before we go, and it's designed for a first timer. Make the use, best time to go, friendly metro system, morning, royal grandeur, a lot of the same itinerary, but it gave us a little bit of a more of a flavor to it that is a friendly travel guide, a little more personable, as opposed to just a generic travel guide, okay? So that's another one. Now let's add a context to this. I'm going to go to a new prompt, new chat, and I'm not going to try Pro here. We're just going to go to a new chat, and we're going to try this format here that we can use: act as a friendly travel guide, suggest the 5-day itinerary. I'm traveling with 2 seniors who enjoy art and walking tours, and it's going to give me a little different flavor. Okay, keeping your love for art and walking tours in mind, along with accessibility concerns. Okay, here's a suggested itinerary, and here's notes on accessibility for seniors that you might not have thought about before. Areas that are flat, areas that where mobility scooters might be available, some areas that might involve cobblestones or inclines, making sure you have a comfortable pace with frequent breaks. And so they are tools, and they take in here, here's some time to relax. Okay, so it's building in accessibility features, the amount of walking that you might have, the accessibility features of the Prado, breaks that you could provide, plenty of benches. There's a leisurely lunch you can have to the Prado Museum. So you can see how the context gives it a little better understanding of what you're looking for, that you might not have thought about before. And so it's doing a pretty good job already listing these in bullet points. That's pretty standard. So let's try putting a new prompt in with all four of these, but let's ask it to say, let's not just activities and bullet points, but also by the time they will start and see what it comes up with. It'll, because I asked it for a little bit more. Now it's actually giving me some two choices because it tries to get feedback. AI is going to ask you for different feedback here. So here's choice A, choice B. Again, seniors interested in art, itinerary, time, pace yourself. This one starts out right with the time right away. Arrival, lunch, exploration, stroll, giving yourself relaxed dinners, time, etc. They both give me this time capability and other things. So it's not only a bullet point, but it's also a time suggestion. This one has an optional day trip if you're interested. This is, so this one has a little more information about the local markets and other tools. So I can just pick a response. I like this response. I think this one's more helpful, but that's how you can tailor your responses. Now, if I take these same prompt tools where I've got my persona, my task, my other the context, and I just go into ChatGPT and paste it in, it'll give me a very similar type of response. And so it tells you the pace is relaxed with time for rest, culture. I've included breaks and optional activities so you can adapt each day as needed. So ease into Madrid's charm, arrive and check into your hotel. It tells a recommended place to stay, a light walking tour of the historic center, relaxing coffee break. Who doesn't like a coffee break? Early dinner. A lot of times we like to eat dinner early, so it's assuming that seniors tend to want to have an early dinner. In Spain, the dinners will start at like 9 o'clock typically. Prado and Retiro Park, a lot of the same things, but a little bit different format and some built-in rest breaks and other activities here and some bonus tips that you might like. And it says, gee, it can help book tours or make dinner reservations as well. So ChatGPT is getting into what's called agentic AI, which has the ability to do more of those types of things. And you'll find that most of the others are very similar in terms of results they might produce as well. I'm going to go back to Google here and start a new chat. Did a tech topic video recently, and I hope it'll do this. I want to get a summary of this video in bullet format. I found that ChatGPT won't always do this because it needs to get to a transcript, and you've got to get a transcript, whereas Gemini seems to be able to do this by connecting to YouTube because it's a Google tool and getting a summary of this right away. So here's a summary of the video in bullet point format right from Gemini. I found, this will be a great summary, and it gives you the link to the video as well and gives you a quick information and even the timestamps on where these discussions took place in the video. If I try and do the same thing in ChatGPT, it doesn't always seem to pull up the transcript, but sometimes it will. It's searching the web. Oh, it did. It was able to get the transcript okay. So if it can get to the transcript, it'll pull these things in. And so you can get a video summary right from within ChatGPT and other tools. I wonder if we can get to that if we went to a document in Microsoft Word, if it might be possible to do this at all. I have no idea, but we're going to find out if it'll do it. Insert an online video in Word, chat with Copilot. There we go. Is unable to directly access or summarize content from external links like YouTube videos. However, if you could provide some details or key points, I can summarize them in bullet format. So as you learn to use different types of AI tools, it may help. So I might do something like this, though, where I want to ask Copilot anything. I want it to give me an article about non-technical people that are going to be able to tell me about important rare earth minerals, where they are located around the world, and create a table of what country has the percentage of each mineral. So it wrote the article here in this side panel here, and it talked about here are the rare earth minerals, neodymium, lanthanum, global distribution, China, Vietnam, Brazil. And I asked it for a format of list each country and what the percentage of reserves are they have. And if I want to, I can insert this into my document just by clicking on insert, and it'll put it. Now, you can see some of the formatting didn't come out too good on this, so I may have to adjust the formatting of that table a little bit to modify it in some of the formatting tools. So sometimes you'll run across a few issues like that. So another one I want to do is I've been playing around with different technology. So if I go to Claude, for example, and I ask it as a technology instructor for adults who are about to retire or retired, what are some of the most important technology skills that you would recommend they learn about? What order would they be important? Also, give me a way to help people assess their own technical competency in each skill and guidelines for what would be good learning. Now, you don't always have to correct your spelling because the AI is intelligent to understand them. So I'm going to see what kind of response Claude comes up with for this. And so priority of skills, digital safety and security, smartphone, email, internet browsing, online banking, video calling, social media, digital healthcare. For each skill area, learners can rate themselves on this scale. Well, that's not a bad, way to do it. So they can, kind of have specific assessment questions, and I could get more, this is asking them to rate yourself from 1 to 8, on a skill set assessment. And then it recommends what order to go through with this and creating cheat sheets and other things. I mean, AI will create your own cheat sheets for you. So if you want cheat sheets for shortcuts or other things like that, they're all available. One last thing I want to show you. I've been playing around a little bit with Microsoft Copilot. And one of the things you can do now, if you have Microsoft 365, is you can create some interesting activities. I'm going to see if it'll do this on here. You can use Copilot here, or if you want to code faster, get instructions, improve your writing, you've got access. But if you go to the home tool, one of the things you'll see here is called quiz. You also have design. They have a graphic designer, but I'm going to try and see what happens when I open up quiz. Because I've got quiz, a Copilot enhanced with everything, I've got the ability to use it. Now with 365, your subscription includes a certain amount of credits, and I've only used a few credits here. So I'm going to create a quiz, a multiple choice, 3-question, 3-answer quiz with 10 questions about creating good AI prompts. And it's going to generate a quiz for me just with that prompt. So this is part of your Microsoft 365 subscription. It's basically what they use in forms, and it's going to create these questions, and it's analyzing your requirements. It won't take long. And it's coming up with the questions and the responses, and it includes an answer explanation. I did this with a couple of posts to try a few things out. I like to keep this. So we're going to keep this, and it's got it. It creates the questions here. And when you're ready to share this. You can preview it and see what it looks like. So this is what it's going to look like. What's the first step in creating a good AI prompt? Ignore the context, define the objective, choose random words. Okay, now I could have said, make it for very non-technical people, but I didn't. I just said, give me something for AI prompts. What's important to be specific? This will work on desktop. It'll also work on mobile here as well. You can get an idea what it looks like. And if you're ready to share this, you would click on collect responses, and then you can copy a link and post it anywhere you want to, in any document, in an email, on a website. And it kind of has a predefined prompt. It's used a lot by people, in the workplace. So it says we don't really need to tell people when to finish it by. And when people see this link and they click on start the quiz, they'll do it. So I can paste this in Tech Explorer community, on other pages, wherever I feel like doing it, and it's ready for people to start filling in. I believe you can even get another format with a QR code. You can show the format like this, or you can create it like a bar response if you want to have it different. You can try different approaches to where you might want to have it formatted a little bit differently, and then you can change some style aspects as well. But it's all created by AI as a quiz, and they have other things like templates if you want a particular design, or other things you might want to have and get started. You can get started on all kinds of tools, whatever you're interested in providing. And when you're ready to present it, you can present this on a conference. So if you take your phone and scan the QR code, say on the Zoom meeting, you could start filling out the response right away, and you can share it with people if you wanted to. And so they have quite a number of tools that are coming out with each of these. And so if you already have a subscription to 365, that's great. Designer, others are tool, and you'll have all these resources available for you. So that was just a little bit of a overview of prompt crafting and how you can do it more effectively. Prompt crafting with media is a little bit different. I'll probably be doing a session on that at some point, that I'll go into a little bit more on media types of approaches. But I just wanted to give you understanding, and thank you all for coming today. And